All right, let's move on. We've got the amazing Amanda Palmer coming in now. What you do is just so different to anyone else. You just want the audience to have a good time.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's not just that I want the audience to have a good time, but I really like connecting with people. And music is such a perfect way of doing it. When I look back and kind of trace it, I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be really connected to people. And fame does get you some things, and it gets you money, and it puts you on the stage. But doing the celebrity dance and doing the celebrity game, there's a lot of things about that basically signify we're separate. You need to stay over there. I need to be over here. I'm going to go to this. You go to that. And that sounded so fucking lonely to me. I just didn't want to do that. It was a mercy killing. I couldn't sleep for a week. When I launched the Kickstarter, one of the packages for $5,000 was a house party. I know I'm touring in Australia. Those guys are going to probably get their parties when I tour, but I'm not sure when I'm going to get to South Africa. It's not on the fucking way to anything. When am I going to do this fucking house party? And I'm in Australia right now, and I'm heading back to Boston. It's kind of on the way. Sort of. I carved out a 5-day space, didn't know where I was going to stay, didn't know what I was going to do other than this one house party in Pretoria. And I tweeted. And then, like, magical Twitter things happened. I direct messaged this random guy named Greg who looked really nice, and now he's following me around with his friend Lara, and they're filming.
And a camera, yeah.
They're filming my entire trip here.
This is you living your philosophy.
Basically. You know, the irony is that I'm also this very self-reliant, don't fucking tell me what to do,
right.
Kind of person. But the flip side is I really, really rely on my friends, my community. You know, I love talking to strangers. I'm not afraid to ask for help. But I also, I really generously give help. Walking into a house party it's a collaboration. It's a collaboration between you, the person whose house it is, the people who have put it together. And being a good collaborator is a skill. It's a dance. You know, you don't just walk in and dominate the fucking situation, but you also don't walk in and submissively sit down going, okay, what am I supposed to do?
I came to Amanda Palmer's music because I felt like such an outsider, and her music spoke to me and made me realize that the outsiders actually rule the world.
Amanda Palmer, you've informed my formative years and adulterated my adult years, and I can't wait to see what's next.
I've loved the fact that I can chill with someone who I've admired for years.
And she manages to articulate for me the things that I can't necessarily articulate for myself. She can bring those feelings out of me and let me look at them, let me experience them, and understand them.
This song, art is great that way. You can do anything. You can make pop music, you can paint ducks. But if you're a pop artist and you're a woman, then it's much more likely that people will say your art sucks. Making pop music isn't for everyone. Actually, that's bullshit. It technically is. That's why it's pop music now. I've confused myself, I'm gonna start a new verse and I'll say it like this. Imagine that every night of my life, like, you know, like 100 or 200 nights a year, I get this much stuff, which happens on tour.
Yeah.
And I'm too sentimental to throw any of it away. My entire apartment is like floor to ceiling weird shit like this. Well, I divulged my secret to you and you alone. You're the only people in the whole continent of Africa who know that I'm pregnant, and no one else in the world knows. There's maybe 5 people out there, and I'm keeping it secret until maybe 3 months go by, and I'm freaking out. Freaking out! Full on freaking out. Very afraid that my life is gonna end and that I'm going to be trapped in a vortex of responsibility and non-spontaneousness, but also like I feel like I'm falling into a totally new hole in the universe, and like the idea of having a child that is mine and Neil's is really starting to blow my mind. That there's gonna be this person who's joining our relationship. Like that's all of a sudden it's gonna be a threesome. But there's this part of me that's going like, oh my god, if I'm gonna do this, I'm going to fuck it up. I'm gonna fuck it up in a good way. I'm going to have a weird kid, and I'm going to be a very strange parent, and I'm sure everyone is gonna hate me and revile me for being a totally irresponsible, bizarro parent, and it will be like the rest of my life. I will be like, yeah, but I just want to do it this way, and the kid seems to be enjoying it, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Check back with me in a year. Technically, a ninja gig is any gig that I announce on short notice, somewhere random, that is free. This basically fits the criteria. The guys over at the Sheds raised their hands and were like, we have this brand new venue, it's fucking huge, we want to fill it with people. I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. The place fits 1,200 people. I've never done a ninja gig that big. The biggest one I've done has maybe been like 600 people, 700 people. I mean, the great thing about this is that, like, aside from the house party, no one has seen me ever. I love running my life this way. There's something about doing things last minute, too, that just is so much more exciting.
It's inside of me, who can I blame for it? I say it runs in the family, this family that carries me to such great lengths, to open my legs up to anyone who have me. It runs in the family, I come by it honestly, do what you want, cause who knows if I could be one.
I came to South Africa! Neil Gaiman says hello. He's so pissed that he couldn't come. Underwater, I'm half my mother's daughter. A fraction's left up to dispute. I think it's really important as an artist to know that there are these emotional, fleshy, real, flawed human beings that are on the other side of your work. It reminds you that this is a two-way conversation. Crazy. I clearly don't have the thick Boston accent, but I can do a pretty decent impression of it, so this is my impression of it. So everybody watching this interaction on the sidewalk would shout after the dude as he walked away with his drunk friend and girlfriend. Dude! She's got a flower for you. What are you doing? What are you, retarded? Take the flower! And the dude would usually bend to the peer pressure and come back and take the flower. But not always. Sometimes I just had to let him go. Lara was just asking me, she phrased the question really well. She said something like, do you actually feel totally sincere with all these people and like all these hugs you're giving and all of these? And actually the truth is I do. Sometimes it's harder. Like sometimes it's like if I'm tired or if a person's really kind of bizarre and aggressive or whatever, I have to ground myself a little more to be sincere, but I couldn't do it if I felt like I was faking it. I would freak out. And the lesson I learn again and again about humanity is that people are not the people that they appear to be on Twitter and on Tumblr. I think it has to do with our accountability and responsibility to each other. Like when you and I are sitting here, I see your humanity. It's too loud. You're too much of a human being for me to just objectify you. And there's something about, just seeing an icon of someone on a screen and you can just have whatever fucking ideas you want about them. You're not forced to face their humanity and their flesh and blood and their scars and the sound of their voice and their breath and the things, all of the cues that as human beings make us go like, oh, fellow human being. He maybe would have sat around just singing nice songs to his girlfriend. So play your favorite cover song, especially if the words are wrong. 'Cause even if your grades are bad, it doesn't mean you're failing. Do your homework with a fork and eat your Fruit Loops in the dark and bring your Etch-a-Sketch to work and play your ukulele.
God damn it, that is magnificent. Oh yeah, look at these people, they're going crazy out there.
Thank you very much, good night! Pay attention, because I will be back. Bye guys, thank you, you've been beautiful. I really want to come back. I love coming back to places. And I love when I find something that I love, like even if it's a cafe, I get so excited about the return, especially if it's like 4 or 5 years later and this place has sort of like become a little figment of your imagination and it's sort of sat there festering and becoming nostalgic and then you get to return. I have a word for that. I just call it again. I'm just in love with the process of again. Guess that's the